potentially lose $90,000. He appears to be enjoying his offseason, spent some time in Hawaii, hosted Jeopardy, and is now preparing for a charity golf tournament in Montana where he'll play with Bryson DeChambeau against Tom Brady and Phil Mickelson. On the subject of Rodgers' future in Green Bay, his teammate Davante Adams told Fox News earlier this week this: honestly, it's not even something that we truly talk about like that. It's just everybody's been dialed into what they've got to do. I think everybody's mindset, everybody is going to love Aaron the same way when he returns. And obviously, it's been a little bit of a confusing situation, but there hasn't been any negative talk or anything like that. Everybody's behind him. All right, now we bring in my guy, Swagoo, Marcus Spears. Where are you? There he is, the big fella. It's been too long. Always put a smile on my face seeing you. I like the good vibes, that little sign behind you. I'll get to you in a minute, but I'm going to start with Mr. Smith. Stephen A., are you buying or selling this?
Well, I'm not buying any of it. I mean, what the hell are they supposed to say? They work for the Green Bay Packers. They're not going to come out and say but so much because they've got their own business to tend to, and they're not going to compromise their wallets. They know that they're not Aaron Rodgers. They don't have his money. They don't have his cachet. They don't have the level of support that he could ultimately garner. As a result, they have to be careful about what they say and what have you. And what is there to talk about? They know that Aaron Rodgers' willingness or unwillingness to be a Green Bay Packer has very little to do with them. They're 13-3 back-to-back NFC championship games. He knows they have talent, that they can compete. Aaron Rodgers not wanting to be there has nothing to do with the players. It has everything to do with management and how he's been treated, and a coach in Matt LaFleur who Aaron Rodgers believes passes the buck every chance he gets. One defensive coordinator is gone. It's always somebody else's fault. It's never him. And so it's not that he's a bad guy per se. It's that the level of accountability he's willing to stomach is limited. And obviously we know Mark Murphy is incredibly detached. Just look at the quote that he put forth a few weeks ago. His engagement in spin control where, trying to talk about Aaron Rodgers as somebody difficult to deal with as opposed to him looking in the mirror and thinking about the kind of culture that he's fostered throughout the years. First, it was Ted Thompson being disrespectful towards Aaron Rodgers. Now it's Gutekunst that's done the same thing. Obviously, they have the support of Murphy because Murphy lets them know, no matter what you do, I'm going to support you because you're more important than our superstar quarterback. That's what's going on in Green Bay. The players know it, but they can't come out and say it because it would compromise their job situation. And that's very, very predictable.
I'm buying this.
Man,
sorry. Go ahead, Swagoo.
I'm just so sick of him with it. I'm so sick of Stephen A. with this dribble. Like, man, listen, man. Like, Aaron Rodgers got some responsibility in this. It ain't everybody else. He owns some of the buck. And for players to come out and say what Davante said, it's obvious that they have to show loyalty to their paycheck. They got families to go home to. But yeah, but it is a slight to the players, Stephen A., because their future is tied to Aaron Rodgers' future, as Davante said a few weeks ago when he was asked this same question. And the reason why he says it's confusing is because we do have a good relationship with Aaron, but Aaron doesn't seem to let that overcome the things that's going on with the front office. I'm not saying Aaron Rodgers should handle his business based on all of the personal relationships that he has with the team and the players, but it does affect them. Not only do they have to ask questions about it, it affects them immediately on the field of play. Davante wants Aaron Rodgers because Davante is a better wide receiver with Aaron Rodgers. The defense is a better defense with Aaron Rodgers playing quarterback. So these guys are directly affected. I don't think that's Aaron Rodgers' intention for those guys to be affected. But for those players and for everybody to talk about this situation like Aaron Rodgers is the one that should be pampered and we should take care of him and think about his feelings and beyond everybody else. No, other people got skin playing in the game as well. And so Davante is talking good about Aaron Rodgers, and he's saying that because he is in the Green Bay Packers organization. But the bottom line is, and the facts are, and the truth is that all of these guys, especially Davante Adams, is directly affected by the attitude and the things that Aaron Rodgers have taken towards the Green Bay Packers.
I like what you guys seem feisty, but I'm not sure
I'm letting you go first, Max, but I'll deal with Marcus in a minute.
I'm not sure what the argument is here. The question is, do you buy or sell what Davante Adams is saying? Like, do you believe him or not? I buy what Davante Adams is saying because, look, forget about the part where he says it's not something we talk about. Like, everyone accepts the fact that athletes have to lie sometimes. Just like, that's how it is. Like, he's lying about that. Of course, no one talks about the Green Bay Packers, whether or not Aaron Rodgers, the reigning MVP, is going to come back and they're ready to win a Super Bowl. Of course they talk about it. I'm not buying that part. But the real thrust of what he's saying, Davante Adams is saying this. I support Aaron Rodgers as a man, as my friend, right? As a colleague. Go do what's best for him. Of course, I hope he comes back here because he's great and we want to win. Now, if he doesn't, that's out of my control. I got to put my head down and be the best I can be. Guys, if Jordan Love comes in and he's sailing passes over his head and he's missing them and Davante Adams starts getting frustrated and you go back to Davante Adams halfway through the season because Aaron Rodgers isn't there and he gives you this same answer, well, no, I'm fine. Then I'll call BS, right? But that hasn't happened yet. At this moment, he's telling you the truth that he can tell you. I am buying.
You know, Marcus Spears, you know, here's the thing that gets on my nerve about guys that like yourself. Because you see, like I tell you, the dangerous part about going up against me, Marcus Spears, is that I watch you because I enjoy you on television. You give exceptional analysis. You're very knowledgeable about the game of football. But you got to remember, you're talking to a brother that specializes in remembering quotes, my brother. And you got to also remember that I pay attention to personalities. And the fact of the matter is that Marcus Spears was a team player. Now, you got contaminated with your 8 years in Dallas. I get all of that. You got contaminated, had to be subjected to that nonsense, being a member of the Dallas Cowboys. Okay, you had to do that, right? But here's the thing. You know, Marcus Spears, if I remember correctly, he loved being in Dallas. It wasn't just the weather. It wasn't just the fact that it was in Texas. It was no state income taxes. He had an owner in Jerry Jones he liked a lot. He had a dude there, treated brothers with respect. You understand what I'm saying? Put you in the best positions to succeed, at least in his mind's eye. I'm talking about in terms of how y'all were treated. A la carte treatment, you know, being a cowboy. You understand? The star on the helmet, the $1 billion playpen, all of that other stuff. You living a life. You living a life. Oh, by the way, when you departed from Dallas, your last year in the NFL, who did you play for? I think it was the Baltimore Ravens. Another guy, John Harbaugh, straight up dude, very well respected organization. Wasn't Ozzie Newsome still there? I believe he was. Okay, absolutely. And we all know what an elite executive the great Ozzie Newsome was throughout his illustrious NFL career as a GM. So what I'm saying to you is this. If Marcus Spears was playing in an organization where you were treated like trash, you were disrespected, you were disregarded, you were literally told to shut up, go play, we run the organization, when you the face of the franchise and you carried the franchise on your shoulders for the better part of a decade, when the only thing known outside of you in Green Bay was cheese and Clay Matthews' hairdo. That's it. Other than that, nothing else mattered. Other than those two things, other than you, the only two things that mattered in Green Bay was cheese and Clay Matthews' hairdo. Him giving Troy Polamalu a run for his money with all those damn hair commercials. That's about it. And you were treated like that, you would lose your damn mind. So for you to sit here on national television, acting like, oh my goodness, Aaron Rodgers, he got some skin in this game, he played the role in this and all of this